On this channel, we often look at what's happening in Venice, Florida right now and in the very near future. But today we wanted to talk about something a little different.
And that is, what will Venice look like in 5, 10, maybe 15 years from now, or even farther away in the future?
And we're getting started right now. Leave a comment though, let us know what your prediction is for the future of Venice, Florida before we give you ours.
If you're looking to buy or sell in the Venice, Sarasota, Northport, Englewood areas, make sure to call, text, or email us. I am a local realtor here. My information will be in the description box below.
That phone number is 941-221-1897. You can call or text at any time, and we're always going to have your best interest and happiness in mind when buying or selling a home in the area. So first thing I know we're going to be seeing in 5, maybe 15 years is flying cars.
Only in Venice, Florida, though.
Only here. Okay, no, seriously though, what's your first prediction? Let's kind of go back and forth.
My first prediction is that the demographic here in Venice will be so much different. It has already started to change. We have a lot more families here, so instead of being highly populated with like snowbirds or retirees, maybe we're going to see 30 to 40% of the population be younger families.
That's something I really hadn't thought about much, and a pretty bold claim, but I don't think it's that bold. I think you're pretty on track with that.
I think we're heading that way,
yeah.
Especially with Welland Park being on the edge of Venice. There's a lot of families there.
Yeah, and just even in actual Venice too, we meet more and more people that are like, yeah, we love the area, we came here to visit a couple times, came here on vacation, and then they decide they want to move here. So yeah, I think if the last couple of years were any indication, I think going forward, yeah, you're gonna see Venice become a little bit younger and more family centric.
I still think snowbirds and retirees are going to be most of the population, but I do see the area becoming a little more populated with younger families.
One of my big predictions for the way Venice, Florida is heading, I don't think this is that bold at all, but you got to talk about the Welland Park area, which you just mentioned. I think that's going to be a big part of what draws people into Venice, but I also think that area is going to expand, and it's really going to change the dynamic of how you look at Venice. I think those that Welland Park and that south end of Venice, those areas are going to start to bleed together a little bit and kind of form into one bigger city. And I think that's going to really change the way people look at Venice as a whole, because I think it's still going to have a level of that small town feel, especially when you go to like Venice Island with all the, the sidewalks, the trees, the shade. But from other aspects with traffic, businesses, the amount of people here, as that area expands and just Venice itself expands, I think that's going to really change the feel of the area. It's just going to feel a little bit more big city-ish, but with a little bit of a small town feel.
Yeah, so a lot more population, but still kind of like a condensed area. I don't think that friendliness of the small town feel will go away either.
Yeah, and I think what'll help with a lot of that, and is helping it already now, is, I mean, you do notice the difference in traffic for sure on the main roads, but as they start to expand some of these other roads like River Road, make those 2 lanes, 45 miles an hour, or are they making that 3 lanes? Okay.
3 lanes, I believe.
Yeah, so,
yeah.
I mean, that'll help with alleviating a lot of the traffic, but I also think what helps is there's not a lot of like really tall apartment buildings or condo buildings going up, so that keeps things a little more spread out, a little more quiet, and you don't have all these people stacked on top of each other. Then when they all get on their cars, they're all congesting up the traffic too. Not to say that their traffic doesn't get crazy here in the winter months, but I think Venice is doing a pretty good job of, it took them a little while, but now they're doing a good job of trying to account for that, as far as roads.
Growth. Yeah, because a lot of people have complained about the traffic, and it does get pretty, I wouldn't say crazy traffic like in a big city,
yeah,
but it gets congested. Most people are driving slower than, in your bigger cities, but because of that, then you can get stuck in traffic. And I can see why some of the locals could get, frustrated, especially if they have to drop their kids off at school, or if they have to go to work and now they're stuck in traffic. It can create a big issue. Venice is doing a pretty good job about trying to fix those issues. My second prediction is that if the Welland Park area doesn't get their own school system, because they're planning on opening their own high school, if that doesn't happen, then Venice will need maybe to expand their current high school, or even a second high school altogether. Right now, I know there is a big issue with kids not even being able to park in the school grounds because the parking lot is not big enough for the amount of kids they have. So some kids will have to park down the road and they'll have to walk to get to school. So that's, I feel like, a big issue, because especially as a high school kid, like, you don't want to drive yourself to school and then you have to park down the road to walk to school. Like that almost defeats the purpose of driving.
And that do you have anything else on that? Because that makes me think of my next prediction.
Okay.
My next prediction, so you talk about the full parking lot, and the first thing that comes to mind for me is Walmart. That place is a zoo. So the prediction for me is that we'll get, you know, maybe like another like Walmart neighborhood market or a Costco or a Sam's Club, probably something a little closer to the Welland Park area. As that area expands and grows, the downtown is built and things like that. I think just in general, you're going to see a lot more businesses come in. Obviously, with the Welland Park downtown, I mean, that's already a foregone conclusion that, yeah, lots more businesses there, like mom and pop shops, you know, small restaurants, things like that. But I think we're going to start to see more big chains come in. We're probably going to get, I don't think like another Walmart, but maybe like a Walmart neighborhood market on that end, or a Costco or a Sam's.
Is in the early stages of planning to come to Welland Park, so hopefully that gets approved.
Yeah, and I think we'll also see just other major chains, businesses. I mean, one of our things that we say was a gripe or a con in some of our pros and cons videos, there's not a ton of shopping in Venice. I mean, there's definitely plenty to cover all your basic needs and even a little more than that, but it's not going to have like what you would have in like a Sarasota or even a much bigger city like Orlando. But I think a little bit more of that stuff's going to start to come to the area.
Yeah, especially as newer families and younger people come to the area, because that's what younger kids want to do. They want to go shopping all the time. My next prediction is that real estate will continue to go up. There has been a lot of demand in Venice for homes and condos and townhomes, villas. I think with all this growth, that demand will come back. We have noticed a little bit of a dip right now, and I think it's because a lot of people that were going to move here during the pandemic already moved here. And also because of interest rates being around 7% right now. So most buyers are either priced out of the market or they're like, forget it, I'm not going to buy right now. It's too expensive, and on top of that, I have to pay a 7% interest rate. So some buyers are just not interested in buying right now. But I do think that in 5, maybe 10 years, that demand will come back because of the Welland Park area, because we'll have, you know, that downtown area and all the businesses coming. So the demand and the desire to be in Venice and surrounding areas will come back as well with that.
Yeah, and I think even right now, we just recently did a market update video that'll probably be coming out before this video, but in that one, we're seeing how the inventory is building a little bit right now. Prices have maybe flattened / dips depending on the area we're talking about. But I think a lot of that is for two different reasons. Number one, interest rates, but two that you didn't mention that I think are also kind of playing into that is the time of year. I mean, school year just got started, typically slow everywhere, but especially in Venice.
Yes, and also the summer months are actually our slow months here. While in the northern part of the US, that's when everyone's buying. It's the complete opposite here. Our real estate transactions take place in the winter months when all the snowbirds are here, when people are trying to get away from the snow, the cold. That's when most of our sales take place.
Yeah, and the second thing, I think, the hurricane.
Yes.
I mean, it kind of just put everything on pause for a little while people fix up their homes. Maybe people were looking to buy a home and were in the middle of a transaction. Okay, like, well, I want to see what's going on with this house now. So I think that is also a factor. But yeah, I think long-term, 5-10 year grand scheme of things, I think prices will continue to go up. We might see a little correction yet from the interest rates and stuff, but it just seems like Florida as a whole, granted, they're kind of, everyone says they're going to be behind the rest of the U.S. as far as seeing, you know, the prices dip, but I just don't think we're going to see the dip that a lot of other areas are. So I guess we'll see, but yeah, long term, I think values
Florida is still going to be desirable.
especially this area, yes. Sarasota, Venice, Lakewood Ranch, Welland Park. They're all just up-and-coming areas, and they're very desirable for a lot of reasons. I mean, brand new communities, family-friendly, lots of amenities. Yeah.
Low crime.
Low crime.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the area, make sure to call, text, or email us. I am a local realtor here. My information will be in the description box below.
That phone number is 941-221-1897. We call or text at any time. We hear from people all the time. We love it, and we'll always have your best interest and happiness in mind when buying or selling a home in the area. If you want to know more about what it's like to live in Venice, Florida, check out this playlist right here. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications to catch the newest videos, and
live breezy.